last time in Renascence, you guys pulled the trigger and delved into the burial chamber of Meraxes III, the last prince of the Lower Kingdom. You conjured his spirit and did battle with his remains. I thought the fight went really well. I'm just saying. But I know maybe opinions could vary.
I beg to differ.
We don't have to dwell on it. The important thing is you guys won. Ultimately.
I have 3 hallmarks in me.
You survived, and you beat back the dark spirit of Meraxes' reanimated, mummified remains. And he offered you a boon in the form of gold and various magical artifacts to aid you in your struggle against the Red Star, which it would seem has returned in your time, having laid waste to his kingdom 50,000 years ago. We more or less left off right after the battle. We did briefly just kind of go over the magic items you guys found, the gold you got. There are some pretty good stuff in there. If you guys have forgotten, give them another look. They should be in references. Couple of potions, a pretty decent ring, and some awakened dragon items, which are imbued with Meraxes' strength. It is currently in-game the 49th of Cairn. You guys have spent all of 2 days, roughly, exploring this dungeon. And your work here looks like it's done. So we're just kind of picking up in the wake of that fight. The crystal wall leading back into the rest of the tomb is aglow again with this sort of ethereal fire that looks as though you could pass through it once more without too much issue. And you guys would know that Professor Hoosier and Jade and the rest of that party are just quietly waiting on the other side for some word of how you fared.
Burberry starts writing down the stuff that's on the walls.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big old mural. So that'll be a minute to kind of copy that down for sure.
Kiki will go out and go tell the professor.
It's ready. Well, that was quick.
I like the idea that Kiki goes out, then the door shuts, and we're all stuck.
You're all stuck. The flame persists even after Kiki passes through it, and I mean, you would step out, and yeah, there be some like scuffs and blood and everything. It's been maybe 5 minutes since you guys stepped in there, and you just come back out. You're just like, everything's good. You can come in. Professor who's just like, goodness, you've looked better. Did everything go all right?
You can say that again.
Oh my! Oh, you, dear boy, are you quite all right? You look half dead.
My band-aids didn't want to stick.
Well, we just fought a dragon, so that was great.
Did you?
Well, it was like the ghost of a dragon or something.
So it kind of looks around the chamber, having followed you back in. Just... Is he... Where?
Oh, it was a shadow dragon. Spectral thing.
Is he in there then? She'll just kind of point at the sarcophagus.
He is, but I wouldn't touch it.
There's definitely a twinkle in the eye. You can see the gears kind of turning, weighing the options.
Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
I would not open that if you valued life in any sense of the fashion.
Every sensible bone in my body says don't do it, but I can't deny there is certainly an impulse.
Okay, will you pay me before you do that?
I won't. I won't open it. I've learned my lesson. Believe me, over the course of my career. God, that must have been something, though. What did he look like?
A big shadow of death.
That's very specific. Was he
To be honest,
properly?
we didn't see him much because he was covered in fog most of the time.
Really?
He had a bunch of toilet paper on him.
Linens, then. Right. She'll just kind of glance over to Burr, taking sketches. Like, if you've got a moment, if you could maybe do me just a little drawing of it, just so I have something to refer back to. I'd appreciate it.
She can have a. Would that be a dex thing? You think? Or
I'd say Dex, yeah.
dex. Okay, she can have a 15 level drawing.
Fair. Yeah. I mean, she's appreciative. I mean, there's probably enough detail on there, despite the dark and the fog and the various distractions during the fight. She'd be like, "Yes, no, the prayer tags. Oh, that's fascinating. Were you able to read it? I'm sorry, no, I'm sure you weren't. You're probably fighting for your life."
I mean, if you would like, we can try and translate it now.
Well, I mean, if you've got a moment. And yeah, I mean, she's going to be fawning over this chamber for the foreseeable future. I think Jade and the other two following in after will just kind of catch sight of you, Noelle, immediately, and just kind of rush over and just like, "Are you okay?"
Hey, Jade. I'm doing alright, but the rest of us kind of got the worst of it.
God, you did. Good work. She'll give you a big hug.
I think when Jade, when she looks at Noelle, she probably sees kind of echoes of that fear and that feeling of like being overwhelmed that she had been feeling recently.
I think she's gonna definitely pull you in, just tight, long, quiet hug, and just kind of hold her there.
Noelle just pulls her close. That could have gone bad. Things got dicey.
But you're through it now.
Yeah.
And he's not coming back, right? She kind of glances over the sarcophagus.
Don't touch.
Well, so long as Dr. Hoosier keeps her hands to herself.
You can definitely see occasionally she'll look over to it, but Hoosier's keeping her distance. She is busying herself more cataloging the various treasures lining the perimeter of the chamber.
I think Kiki's watching her. She's like,
Don't you do it.
yeah. I feel like if anything, she's sitting on top of the sarcophagus. She's like, no, no touchy, no move lid.
Fair. Well.
No fucking touchy.
No touchy. After sort of pulling back from the hug, a couple minutes later, Jade will probably ask, I think. So, what happens now? Is this,
Well, I suppose we got our payout out of all of this.
This is everything, I suppose.
Noelle just kind of glances over at the pile of swords and gold. I guess this is our reward for besting him, and this is the aid he offers for us to help take down the Red Star, which I guess is the same as the light that we're dealing with nowadays.
I had, thought they might be related, Hoosier would say. The murals in the previous chambers certainly caught my eye in that regard. I I think the Academy at the very least will be curious to hear, and possibly the Alliance after. Speaking of which, actually, I meant to say, she will kind of turn back to you and close the distance, hurrying over. I meant to say, an associate of mine was called on by your friends with the watch. I don't remember if I said. Professor Sassier is another associate in the archaeology department, but he's a specialist in the Third Era ruins. They said that they were looking for a sort of a collation of findings, and it's been pretty busy the past few weeks putting that together for them. I think he met with them this past week or so. Wasn't sure if you had heard from him or not, but I would expect whatever he had would be of interest to you, given your current engagement with this threat.
You said his name was Professor Sassier?
An associate of mine, Professor Sassier. They met with the watch.
I'm trying to remember, like, has she... I feel like that name is familiar. Has she mentioned him before?
I genuinely don't remember if she mentioned them before.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, and since I can't remember, she doesn't remember. So she's just bringing it up again before you guys head out. Just letting you know, it's like if that is anything pertaining to your current interest, your work with the Alliance, by all means, follow up on that. I know he met with your friends, and I don't know if they're still meeting. Again, different specialties, so we don't really share an office. But I know he was working on something, and I know that they met.
Well,
if that's whatever that's worth to you.
I mean, if you talk to Gideon, I'm sure that Gideon will come talk to us when we get back.
Oh, good. Well, then, there you go. You have that waiting for you. Of course. And thank you again for this.
Right.
This is truly something.
I mean, we've certainly gotten our money's worth out of this. So look over at the pile.
Said you were to bequeath this.
I guess we earned his respect or something for fighting as long as we did.
Well, I hope it makes the difference. I do. I don't envy the task you've set yourselves.
I'm gonna go ahead and put the loot that we got from last session in the chat. I basically wrong place. No, that's the right one. That's the right one. Right place. Sorry, I saw the art from the other thing and I was like, no, I'm in the wrong chat.
That's fine. You can put it there.
So if and I went ahead and assumed that Noelle would get the scroll just because I feel like of all the party members, Noelle would probably know what to do with it the best. But yeah, Barnaby and Kiki, I don't know if you wanted any of the items specifically. I'm requesting the Dragon's Vessel, but
Oil slipperiness is just grease, but I'll take that.
okay.
I feel like Kiki's like, I don't really want this stuff. I just wanted money. And I will have a nice payday when we get back. Wait, don't I know message? Wait, yes I do. Okay, I have an earring of message. I'm going to use one of those. And I'm going to message the professor and be like, I would like to rediscuss our payment agreement.
I think as Hoosier's talking to Noelle, she definitely pauses for a moment. She's, yes, I think that's more than fair. Whenever we have a moment to step aside.
I feel like she'll send another message and be like, it's okay. Do what you need. And I think Kiki will just go lay in the mound of gold. And yep, she's like, kicks up her feet, pulls out her tankard of plenty, takes
That
it
can't be good for her back.
Falling back into a pile of metal? What are you talking about? It's fine.
Knowing that it's gold makes it hurt less.
Yeah, but there's just no lumbar support at all.
Well, if I wiggle enough in, she'll start wiggling in, like form a seat. You're like, perfect.
Scrooge McDuck makes it look so cozy.
And whenever I wrote under all, so it's 23,000 each.
Gotcha. How many shares is that?
That 5.
That's 5 shares?
Mhm.
Okay. Is Kiki taking any of the dragon winnings?
She should. She definitely earned her share.
She did.
See, I don't know. Part of me is like, she's about to get a payout. I don't
She is a pirate.
I know. But a Lauren could have.
But would Kiki give a shit about a Lauren? That's my role playing challenge to you, girlfriend. What would Kiki do?
She'll sit on the gold and contemplate.
Right, but doesn't Kiki want a ship or something so she can go hunt her crew down or whatever it was that she was doing?
Well, she's not trying to buy a ship. She's trying to get her ship back.
Right.
And she just needed money to, like... She's a pirate. She doesn't need to buy a ship. She'll just fucking steal one. She has no intention of buying another
Okay, so
ship.
she wasn't trying to buy a new ship. She just wanted something.
Yeah, I don't think that's really what her plan was. Her plan was just to, like, get a good amount of money so she could, like, buy things that she would need to commandeer a vessel.
Win back the loyalty of her crew.
No, she's gonna kill them all.
Oh.
She's gonna get a new crew.
So hire a new crew. Got it.
Yes.
That's what the money's for. It's the one thing you can't steal is people to work your fancy boat.
Unless you're Lashrog.
Unless you're Lashrog. Then you just
Then you
convert
just steal all the people.
all the kidnapping, all the culting. Well, does anybody have any further business in the tomb?
Yes, I would like to leave it.
Noted.
Kiki would also like to leave the tomb very much.
Yeah,
So-
I can get us out of here pretty quick.
Oh my god, please get me out of this terrible place.
I have a question about the Wakened Dragon's vessel.
Yes.
When using it, does it only whenever it makes a healing or any potion really? Whenever it makes a potion, does the potion only work when it comes out of the vessel, or can you pour the potion out?
A potion you created this way loses its magical properties if it isn't imbibed within 24 hours.
Okay.
So I would say
And can it only make one a day?
yes. Once this property has been used, it can't be used until the next dawn.
Okay. And is that only for potions, or is that for any liquid that it makes?
Oh, I have a question. Can you make a potion, get a glass vial, pour the potion into the glass vial, and save it for later?
It only works for 24 hours. That was the idea.
Damn it.
That is that's the only caveat, that I see.
So like for instance, if I wanted to make a superior potion of healing and I poured it into a thing and then I decided I wanted a beer, could I still get non-magical liquids out of this thing?
I would say no based on how it's written.
Okay.
So as a bonus action, if it's empty, you can speak a command word to fill the vessel with one of the following of your choice. Blah, 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 blah. Once the property is used, which I assume is the command word to fill the vessel with a liquid of your choice, it can't be used again until the next dawn. So you get one liquid per day.
Thank you. I'm sorry for asking. I was just like, I feel like I should get this figured out now instead of later.
That's perfectly fair.
Or we try to cheese the dragon vessel.
I mean,
The dragon vessel's liquids lose their potency after 24 hours.
Yeah, I was non-ironically thinking it might be useful to make one a day for a little bit, at least to,
For what it's worth, it does say it. So any potion you create loses its magical properties if it isn't drunk within 24 hours. I don't think the liquid disappears. I think it just doesn't work anymore if it's a potion, which means any non-magical stuff that you would make using the vessel would still exist because it's not magical beer. It's not magical olive oil. You just have a beer now. You just start stockpiling beer with this thing.
No, I legitimately was just thinking to myself, so what if somebody just likes the taste of magic potions? So, like, you make or likes the taste of healing potions. So you make the healing potion, and then it gets unmagical, but it's still technically a non-functioning healing potion. But they'd be like, nah, I just like the taste of these. They don't do anything.
They taste like cherries.
So it's basically just Dimetap.
Nostalgic from when I was a kid.
Dude, that's what you do. Is you make
just
it
fucking old cough medicine at this point.
What you do is you put a bunch of those useless potions filled up in potion bottles all over your body, and so when you go into battle, you just start drinking them, and like psychologically fucking with the other party that you're just like downing potions all the time.
Honestly, it's not a bad idea because I'd be like, "What did they just drink?"
There's like every time you get hit, you just take one of those.
He keeps drinking. Fucking kill that guy. Everyone turns and fucking fires.
That would work until someone casts like shatter on you.
All your shit immediately just all this glass in your clothing.
So I should be able to get us back today if we all wanted. It's just we'd be teleporting into the Eastern Alliance base on the outskirts of Warnilla.
You'll see Kiki crinkle her nose.
Unfortunately, I don't have any destinations that are in the city or really anywhere else that's close.
Fine, I guess.
Well, you're certainly welcome to walk back if that sounds more appealing.
I'm tired of walking.
Little did you know, it's like she's been banned from every pub that's ever had a, drink as much as you can.
I think the former pirate is more concerned about hanging out with the fucking military of this area.
Yeah.
Nah, it's fine.
The guys who fight pirates? I don't know if I want to go with you there. I think Professor Hoosier would definitely pipe up at the conversation and be like, are you leaving already? Do you want to meet us back in Warnilla then, Kiki?
Did you guys intend to stay for a while? You weren't going to come with us?
We've still got so much to document in here. I wouldn't want to leave without a full cataloging, at least, of this room.
Well, I am letting you know now that I will be contacting the Platinum Brotherhood to let them know that this has been cleared of nonsense. But...
Of course, certainly. There's definitely a moment there where her eyes are a little shock in her expression.
But out of politeness, in the name of study, I am going to be very distracted for about an hour or 24 hours.
I will endeavour to finish what I need to do before.
I figured 24 hours is plenty of time.
It will probably be difficult to get back in here, but for now at least, thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
I would hate to completely abandon my duties.
I would not ask you to either. You're well within your right, of course. And I appreciate your understanding of my position as well in this. The Academy will be very, very excited to hear about this report.
Perhaps. How long does it take for an Academy so-and-so to get places? Like, to get here? How long did it take them to get here?
Oh, we took a ship.
Well, Sorry, out of character. How long did it take us to get here from town?
Oh, it's like a less than that. It's like a 6 or probably like a 6-hour hike out of town.
Well, and is there a is there a Presidium in this particular city?
There is not a Presidium here. Yes, the Platinum Brotherhood keeps a number of temples in the region, on the island. But as far as the watch goes, there would probably be a tower, a small little outpost like the one on Feral, ideally manned in this case.
Well, that being said, though obviously the Platinum Brotherhood does try to protect these for the sanctity of the space, if there are any of them like me, you might be able to get the information off of the walls without actually being in the building from them.
If I can find a brother as open-minded as you, I will count myself a very, very lucky, lucky woman.
How long do you think you will need?
I can make do with 24 hours. You're being more than gracious. I understand your position, and I wouldn't dare ask for more. You are being very, very kind, and I do appreciate it. I can make do with the day. I think more intensive studies down the line will be, as I said, a little more difficult to get in here and get the permissions needed and set everyone at ease, but it's just sort of the nature of my work here, I think. And it's not something I'm going to fight. You know, it is what it is.
Well, I was going to say, if you have anyone in your group or available to hire, if there's anyone that can cast either an illusionary, like a major illusion spell, or perhaps a clairvoyance spell, if they can be in this space, you can summon the image of it whenever. You just have to have somebody who's able to have been here before.
She'll glance over towards Yoan and ask, "Is that something you might be able to assist with?" To which Yoan says, "I would be willing to consider it, yes." Hoosier will kind of light up and be like, "Oh, good. I think then we might have someone who can help."
Well, and that will be able to.
Out of character, since there was such a heavy backlash the first time I tried to look into this room, do I think they would have the same problem? Since they've been in here, like physically been in here?
That's a good question. I'll say give me an Arcana check.
I don't fucking know. I rolled a 3.
I mean...
Wait. Use an Arcana. That's up to a 10. Average.
10. You know?
That
It
being
could
said,
be...
if you do try, you might want to have a healer handy, because it didn't like it the first time I tried to see in here.
Right. Well, if the burial chamber is off limits to remote viewing, then still probably have need to come back and take a look, but I mean, at the very least we could seal the place, right? We could turn over these keys to the Platinum Brothers. Yeah, that'd be a show of faith, right?
I'm sure they would be more than amenable to some sort of negotiation if you had the keys that gave them access to... Yes, that...
Well, I mean, it closes off the burial chamber. Nobody else could get in. So, I mean, that's a good start, I think.
Yes.
If you're keen to leave them behind, if you wouldn't mind.
I don't see why not, under the understanding that that is the deal that will be made.
That would be the plan, yes.
Yeah, totally trustworthy. Not one. Woo!
For what it's worth, Hoosiers seem pretty chill.
You know what? She absolutely chill. Design and integrity, all that stuff. That's what I'm gonna do every time that I roll super low. Is I'm just gonna go with what I assume what was gonna happen, whether it's true or not.
That's fair. Probably a good policy. Yeah. So Hoosier's got her rough plan. She'll probably stay here for the rest of the day and poke around and head out in the morning.
So you're all going to stay then?
I suppose me and Leon will. Jade, Kiki.
I guess I'm technically hired to be here. Much as I wish to leave this godforsaken cave.
Does that mean you're staying as well, Jade?
Well, in the interest of seeing things through, I think it would be best if I stuck around. At the very least, I might be able to be of some assistance when it comes to speaking to the Platinum Brothers. So, I suppose for now, this would be au revoir, no?
I guess so. Feels so fast, but maybe we should get going.
Are you sure you have to rush off so soon?
I feel like we probably should. I know we're gonna have to talk to Gideon, and there's always something going on with the Eastern Alliance. Probably have to meet with them soon too.
This is fair.
If you do have if you would have like some time, that is all right with me.
And he looks to John and Barnaby after that. Silence is affirmation.
Excuse me, I said,
Are y'all okay with sticking around so that Jade and Noelle can have some time?
Sure.
Are they married yet?
Barnaby, if you stay close-minded, I might be inclined to tell the kobolds that there's a very tall, very unmarried man out here.
You wouldn't dare.
Do it. I want to see what happens. Please. I'll go tell them. She'll start walking away.
I begrudgingly will accept their relationship.
No, Kiki, we should respect people's desire to live their lives their own way.
They'll get within message range.
Hmm?
Kiki's still gonna keep walking.
You just see the sliding wall part, and Kiki just through it.
Kiki,
Oh,
Kiki, if you go,
There's a
I'll
lot of
remind them
people
that you're also very
over
willing and
here.
unmarried.
Could not understand either of you guys. At any rate, I mean, Kiki will appreciate. Not Kiki, Jade. Fucking hell, Jade will appreciate having a little bit more time with Noelle before you guys head out.
Can I help Professor Hoosier by casting legend lore?
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a feasible use of a spell slot. I will
how
say
in my comments I just wrote, learn lore, accurate lore, delicious lore.
yeah. I will say, as far as Jade and Noelle goes, obviously getting some time alone will be nice. I think Jade is definitely going to want to confirm plans. Just what are you planning to do in the coming days? I think I'll probably be here for a few more days before we get a ship back to Freeport. So at the latest, she would expect to see you by early next month. Excuse me. What's on the docket for the Emeralds as far as Noelle can tell?
Well, I guess we've always got the Losharog and Leviathan cult stuff going on.
Sure.
I know that we talked to the Eastern Alliance not too long ago about some pretty valuable information that we'd uncovered regarding that, and they were thinking of maybe forming a plan around it that we might have to be a part of. So I don't know if that's still how that's panned out, but we'll probably have to check in with them about that. And there's also a few wheels turning at the Presidium.
Sure.
Gideon and some of our friends and allies have been working on stuff behind the scenes and get an update there. Truthfully, I don't know exactly what we'll be doing next, but I'm sure I'll be spending a bunch of time in our room at the Presidium.
Well, at least I know where to find you then. I suppose I will try to track you down when I get back to town. If anything changes, call me. And we will adjust course as needed. And say hi to Lauren for me. I almost forgot that she wasn't with you. It's been so hectic the past couple of days, but it struck me yesterday. Yeah, no, she hasn't been here. Is everything okay with her?
Oh, yes and no. It's kind of complicated. She had to go off on her own for a while. Turns out Lasharog's been kind of ramping up the attacks recently, trying to target loved ones and family members, which is...
Oh.
Yeah, and Lauren may have really pissed him off in particular.
No.
I wonder what she did to get him coming after her. And you have not been targeted yet?
Not really. I don't honestly know how much Lashrog knows about me. The time I was in the closest proximity to him, when we were on Daggermore, I was pretending to be an elf named Luna.
Who are you?
I'll just transform into Luna for her real quick.
Oh.
Yeah, I kind of base the face off of you, just a little bit, just like.
I see a small resemblance. Is it weird? I'm into it.
Wait, real quick, tell me you're not in the same room with Burberry.
No, I think we went up the staircase out to the desert to walk around and stuff.
Okay, good.
Honestly, though, I'm pretty sure that he's got to know who all of us are at this point. It's not like we've been hiding ourselves super well, what with being part of the Lost Emeralds now.
But he hasn't made any moves against you yet, as far as you know.
Not really. So far, it's just been a Lauren.
And Lauren must have really, really pissed him off then.
Well,
No.
Lauren, have you ever heard of this spell called Dream? It was something that Lauren learned not too long ago that she's been kind of...
I assume it has something to do with dreams, based on the name.
So, as far as I understand it, you can basically, project yourself into someone else's dream, and so she's been doing that to Lasharog to, taunt him and get information, and...
Oh, no.
Well, she was certainly doing one of those things.
I'm more of taunting.
She definitely pissed him off.
Oh, that would definitely piss me off if I was a big, bad asshole.
Right. So she's had to go take care of family and friends and make sure that they stay safe and far from the line of fire.
Sure. I hope she's okay.
Yeah, me too. I'll probably get in touch with her tonight.
Yeah, let me know if you hear anything. And say hi for me, for sure.
Oh, I can do that. Actually, this reminds me. I was going to mention, it might be a good idea for the two of us to invest in a pair of sending stones as well. Don't you think?
I was planning to buy a set with the proceeds from this job, so...
Oh, it's so cute.
I am glad to hear that we are on a similar wavelength as far as that goes.
I mean, I'll also throw it out there that one of the things we have right now with like the Eastern Alliance is they have this big cache of funds that we can use to like outfit ourselves with equipment and weaponry and stuff like that. I haven't really tapped into mine too much, so I'm sure I could get a couple of sending stones out of them for pretty cheap. It wouldn't cost us anything.
I mean, I won't say no, but what will I do with all this cash pulling a hole in my pocket now?
Maybe you could look into getting some armor or something.
Maybe.
Or maybe get a new weapon that doesn't shrink with the phases of the moon and always line up with whatever quest we're doing at that time for some reason.
I mean,
Yeah, that won't.
it's pretty cute right now. She pulls it out. It's like a short sword. It's just like very slender, like beautiful silver, like glistening blade. But she's like, it's been getting smaller the past couple of weeks, so it certainly has not been of much use.
Yeah, it always does.
Yes. Well, it's funny. It was huge like a month ago, like this long, and she like, holds it out. I could not even use it. It was ridiculous.
That's the kind of sword that you use as like a decorative piece on the wall or something like that.
Honestly, I feel like getting a good case for this thing would be nice. Something big enough that it could like, do its thing on the wall.
I mean, it might be a little weird if it's like in dagger form and a 6-foot case on the wall, but
Or maybe just a plaque then.
yeah, that would probably work better.
Yeah, we'll get a placard.
It'll be nice decoration when we do find a place for ourselves.
Somewhere. Maybe like a house in Freeport. A house would be nice.
That sounds absolutely lovely right now.
Although probably should not settle on an address before we have dealt with this vindictive Lasharok.
Yeah, I don't know. That kind of thinking, I can't dedicate any part of my brain to wondering about what it might be like if we lose to Lasharog. I lose my mind.
Sure. No, I did not mean to say we would. I just mean, while he's still being a dickhead, maybe don't give him an address to shoot for. Maybe stick to the inns until the market is a little more stable.
Right. Until we, kill the Leviathan and drive him back.
You're going to kick his ass. He's going to be fine. You got this.
Well, I guess we kind of have to at this point.
You got a better handler on that than I do. I would not know what to do in your position. It's incredible how much stronger you've gotten. Like, genuinely.
It's kind of hard to believe from this end of things as well.
I never would have dreamed you could do the things you're doing right now. And I cannot begin to fathom how I would even begin to compete with what you can do. It honestly makes me question this line of work a little bit, So is this really what I should be doing with my time? I mean, I having kind of a rough run of it these past few months, and you literally came in over 2 days and cleaned this whole thing up. Like,
well, it certainly...
It's incredible.
It wasn't just me.
Well, you and your friends. But my point stands. I don't know. I feel like maybe I am due for a career change of some kind,
Well, I told you before that one of the things I want to do when we finally get a chance to relax after all this Lasharog stuff is take a vacation and spend some time figuring out what you're passionate about, Jade.
I do like the idea of a vacation. I am very passionate about the idea of finding a nice, quiet place to lie down in the sun and not think about anything.
Well, let me tell you about this really expensive haven that will make pillow forts if you...
I will definitely be taking you to Faeril rest assured, first thing. You have to experience this
You've
place.
mentioned the Pharaoh before.
Yeah, you said you've never
still-
been?
I still need to see it.
Right.
I still need to see it.
Need to see it away.
I don't know. I just keep reflecting on how we even ended up in this situation. You keep talking about how powerful I've gotten, or we've gotten, and all I can really think about is just how a few months ago we were nothing, and now people are expecting us to take on this cult and Leviathan and save the world, and I don't know. It's just been a lot.
Well, at least it won't be just you. I mean, I'm here to help however I can, and I know you have much stronger friends than me, so... Plus, it sounds like an entire alliance, army, navy. Do they have air people?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. But, it's not just you. You know? You're a big part of it, I think. It sounds like you guys have really done a lot of work for them, but it's not just you.
I know. But even with allies and resources and powerful friends, it just feels like a lot. I'm hoping that we can really do this, you know?
I know you will.
Thank you, Jade. I'll just lean over and give her a kiss.
Aww.
Cute.
Well, I guess I will stop by the Eastern Alliance building outside of Warnilla when we leave, and just let him know to have a stone ready for you to pick up whenever you take off from here.
Okay. I can do that.
And, message me when you get it.
Yes, definitely.
I think you mean send me when you get it.
Exactly.
So, having had their moment over the course of a couple hours there. Oh. Burberry, legend lore.
Yeah.
What are you loring for Professor Hoosier? Legend lore requires 250 gold pieces worth of incense and a bunch of ivory.
I don't know if I have. I wasn't the stuff. Yeah. There was bone in there.
I would say you could probably scrounge up some ivory from the loot if you really dug through the treasure.
Yeah, and I certainly would be. I'm a cleric. Incense is kind of high on the list of stuff that I need for things.
That's fair. Yeah, if you just want to deduct it as a gold cost that you just got in your pocket for now, that's fine.
Yeah.
So, a casting of legend lore. Name or describe a person, place, or object, and the spell will give you a brief summary of the significant lore about the thing you named.
So you know what? I will explain how the spell works to Hoosier and ask what she wants to know.
Ooh. Well, I mean, that's that could be anything.
Any person or object or thing in which lore exists somewhere, yes.
God, we could start any of that. We could start with the Lord Kingdom. We could talk about the Upper Kingdom, the invaders.
Unfortunately, I
she's
can only
kind of-
cast for you once at the moment.
She's kind of like wheeling around the tomb, just looking at all these murals, like, God, there's so many things to choose from. And I think eventually her eyes kind of settle on the doors to the antechamber. And you follow her in and see her kind of looking up at the mural of the shattering continent under the comet that is crashing into the ocean. And she says, I feel it might be a bit irresponsible if I did not consider this, at the very least. Considering it might be pertinent to current events.
All
She'll
right.
gesture up towards the image of the red star. Say,
I'll make myself comfortable and start going about the things. As I said, I can only do it once today. However, if you would like to hire me for any other sort of similar knowledge, basically, I'm just gonna give her the equivalent of my business card. or this is how you can contact me, and
head to a temple of the conclave, ask somebody to send to Brother Burberry, Hoosier will definitely make note of all that.
Yeah, or you know what, actually, since we'll say that for now, but whenever I do have like a more established spot, I'll probably let them know.
Sure.
Because as we know, Burberry is a sucker for knowledge's sake.
This is true.
And it's good to have friends in all sorts of places.
Mm-hmm.
Although obviously I'll add this is how much the spell just costs to cast.
Yeah.
So
setting up your ivory strips in the proper arrangements, setting the incense to burn, sort of surrounding yourself in this thick pillar of scented smoke. You begin to chant the incantation. And as you do, you feel yourself begin to sort of lift up into the smoke, sort of dispersing across the room, filling it with the incense. Your awareness expands, and you focus on the image of the red star. You sense this rushing sensation surrounding you. And through the stone, you feel as though you can see a dark sky streaked with a blazing crimson light. And you're standing on solid ground outside beneath the stars, looking up as this shimmering red dot, hundreds of miles away, slowly lowers itself closer and closer to the horizon. You can feel the presence of enormous creatures at your side. You can see out of the corner of your eye sort of the shadows of dragons standing at rapt attention in awe of this light, watching beside you. And you watch as this star makes contact with the horizon and detonates. There is a blinding...
Another bag holding, but big!
There is a blinding flash of light. And as your vision slowly returns to you, your eyes stinging, you can see the entire sky lit up, this brilliant red. You can see the ocean out ahead of you, beginning to ripple violently at the horizon line, and then closer and closer and closer, and you are suddenly hit by the wave of air blasted outward from the impact site of this thing. The dragons beside you are thrown hundreds of feet backwards by the force of this impact, but you continue to stand and watch as the ocean churns and boils. You see the landscape of distant islands and land masses cracking and rising up out of the water in real time. Over the course of minutes, as this fire begins to rage on the other side of the world, and you watch the plumes of light kind of peeling off of it into the atmosphere. Within minutes, the entirety of this land around you is shaken and broken and reshaped. You see flashes of a future time where the dragons that survived this impact are waging a bloody and losing battle against fleets of humanoids bearing down on them from the sky, carried aloft by these beautiful golden ships. Lightning arcs off the decks of these ships, piercing dragon wings, sending them plummeting down into the sea. And in time, the dragons vanish. You see their graves, but you do not see them. And in their place, you see distant white towers. You see the golden ships on the sea. But at night, you can see that red light, just as you can see it today, shining up out of the ocean. And you see the ships converging on that light. You can see in the distance illuminated by this crimson light, the silhouette of a tower, and then another, and another, slowly being raised out of the ocean. And as each tower grows, the light illuminating them starts to fade. And the last bit that you can see, there are many such towers, a veritable fortress far out at sea, just barely visible in the dim red light shining up from below. And the next night, it's dark, and there is nothing to see.
Like the towers are all gone?
And so is the light. You see centuries of quiet, of peace. And in another instant, more war, more invaders descending from the sky on very different, dark, chitinous ships. Creatures with multiple arms, insectoid faces, waging war with these fair, graceful, beautiful humanoid beings. And the white towers fall, and in their place you see strange, craggy temples built on mountaintops. You see flashes of dark rooms illuminated by a foul stench and crimson light. You see sacrifices, you see blood flowing into deep pits, and you see stone effigies of this flowering creature descending from above. And like a heartbeat from deep below the ocean, you feel something stir. And in the dark, you see dim, slow pulses of that old, angry red. And then it goes dark. And for a long, long time, it is quiet. For a moment, as you feel as though the spell is beginning to sort of run its course, you kind of feel yourself coming back to yourself, and you start to open your eyes. The last snippet of vision you see is this flash of a dark crypt suddenly bathed in sunlight as a door opens. You hear a single solitary set of footsteps, excuse me.
Hearing
And
footprints is very impressive.
hearing footprints is very, very impressive. You hear a single set of footsteps echoing through this crypt, and you see a single figure descending stone steps. Kind of salt and pepper hair and beard, kind of pale red skin, very sort of exaggerated goblinoid features. And clutched in his hand, there is a book, and in his other hand there is a staff. And around his neck there is a small, very worn symbol, reminiscence of the dark stone figures you saw centuries of sacrifice offered up to. You see Lasharog smile. And as he surveys the crypt around him, this dark place from centuries and centuries back, where dark deeds were done for so very long, and so much was offered in death and sacrifice to this thing. You just hear him say, "At last." And you wake up.
Okay. Well, I think I'll relay the ancient stuff along, but the more recent stuff I will not. We'll keep that to me.
Sure.
At least for now. You know, that's not pertinent to this. Or at least not for scholarly pursuits. This is not pertinent.
Sure, that's fair.
So yeah, I'll relay my vision to her. And then I am going to see if I have any third level spell slot left. I will have to do it tomorrow. I don't have
Alrighty.
prep. And I've already done the thing today.
Good to know. Hoosier will be definitely very appreciative and very, very intrigued by the sound of this vision. I think she's definitely got some conjecture as to what it was you were really seeing. By her theorizing, it sounds as though you got a decent glimpse at sort of the history of that thing.
The history of the world. Can I add in my own little bit of conjecture? And if there was something in the vision that clashed with this, please let me know.
Yeah, sure.
But was that where the egg happened?
The egg?
The I'm sorry, the big hole in the map.
The crater?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Hoosier would definitely say, no, I think that's exactly what happened. No, and I mean, she'd take you back to the murals and point to sort of these large panoramic map depictions of these landscapes. And she'd point out, there's a ring of landforms here that look very much like the continents of Lythor, like the Samores, like Elthor and Lamor. But there's a central one in almost all of them that appears as sort of the heart of that lower kingdom that sort of extends down off of Elthor into the center of this sort of crescent-shaped sea. And as you kind of progress through the tomb, looking at those maps, looking at those images of the lower kingdom, you see that landmass in the center breaking under the impact of the red star and seemingly vanishing. As far as you can see under the most recent map, the one in the actual burial chamber, with the image of the red star shining in the center of the Sea of Halan and the spirit of Mazaxi sort of rising up over it. There is no more landmass there. It is the same round void of ocean that you are familiar with.
Call it a lack mass.
You might be able to get that coined. Do you want the credit in the paper?
Oh no, I was just light-hearted jest.
It's not a terrible idea. Still, though, it sounds as though this thing had a pretty significant place in
The reshaping
most-
the continents? Yes.
yes, well, most eras of our history. I mean, the dragons, the gods that followed them, the invaders that followed them. This is it's a lot. I suppose if your friends that watch were sensing that, that may be why they reached out to Cesir to begin with.
Yes, I believe so. And I feel like Burberry would kind of like glance around the room and start trying to connect dots with the things that he saw in his visions with like other murals.
Sure. I think, again, most of what's in here is all pertaining to the dragons and their civilization. So, once you sort of watched the end of the dragons at the hands of those, golden ships, there was not any really additional overlap in imagery from that point forward.
What? You mean I wasn't like, oh yeah, no, I saw that dragon get blown away.
I recognize that guy. He's dead.
Like not old age dead, just plain old.
Oh, he's gone. I don't even know how they would have buried him.
Well, no, I do know how they buried him because I saw the graves.
Yeah. I saw a pile of dust that was left when that thing fucking finished with him. I think
Permanent shadow on the floor.
there's probably not a lot of specifics in terms of just like faces and individuals. The impression you got was very prophetic in a way. There was not a very concrete cinematic feel to these visions. It was very, very focused on this star, and you kind of sense the peripheral around it. These changing land masses and figures, sort of replacing one another over time.
So, question. So this star, did I get the feeling that this was a spell, an object, or a creature?
I would say there were moments
Or a god?
while you watched those sort of insectile invaders making their sacrifices in the depths of their temples, kind of looking up at that stone effigy in the ceiling of that sort of blooming floral figure. There were moments in the firelights and in the red lights, the eldritch light of those sacrificial pits, where you could swear you saw that thing moving, shining almost of its own internal dim red lights, undulating as if alive. There was definitely something at the heart of it, some being. Whether it is a god or some heinous abomination on par with one, it is hard to say. I think the other thing you would probably sense from these visions is that with the coming of the Red Star and its impact, you would definitely feel a pull towards it. This hunger that beckoned you. It grew quiet when the light faded beneath the towers. But deep in the temples, at the sacrificial altars, you could still hear it. This quiet rumbling, murmuring.
Side note, if we have a pure like fucking Sauron moment where like even casting Legend Lore, it's like, I see you. That'd be the worst.
Not quite.
No. It's just like a side thing, because that's legitimately like where my brain was going. Is like if he says the next fucking thing, it says like it regards you or it hungers or you yearn for it.
I see you.
Yeah. If it can like sense that somebody is thinking about it, that'd be the worst. Okay, so a large scale entity.
Some manner of being.
That has. I'm not gonna go as far as thoughts, but it certainly has feelings. Since you used hunger and anger.
Fair to say.
Can I make a? I guess this would be a religion check. Of if So I'm gonna like borrow from cat experiences.
Okay.
For a sec, and wonder if this is perhaps what a fledgling god might look like.
Okay.
With a like solid core desire want, or if any of that kind of basically to try and like narrow down on, even if it's not what it is not.
Sure. Yeah, I'll say go ahead and give me a religion check then.
Okay, that is a 23.
23. Okay.
I think that this would kind of fall in Burberry's wheelhouse too, since he has done a lot of not mainstream research into this kind of crap.
That's fair. I will say with a 23, the sensation of hunger that you feel emanating from the lights and from these altars does carry a quality, a sort of supernatural, otherworldly presence to it that does remind you of both your studies of divine beings, outsiders, as well as your own interactions with these, some alternative, lesser divine spirits that you've encountered over your career as a researcher, right? There is definitely something familiar in that, in the sensation of that hunger. It definitely feels akin to the other sorts of sensations that you've felt from other powerful beings. It kind of hits you in the same place on your palate, shall we say, right? I think you could definitely say this thing does not feel benevolent in the slightest. Whatever this thing is, this is not a being of kindness or beneficence or any sort of any good qualities, really. Like, the only thing you felt off of this thing was hunger, was a desire to consume. And that desire was a constant, unwavering, unending note in your mind.
So you're saying is that we're going to go against this big bad thing, and then Burberry's going to banish it into another dimension, and that's actually the prequel to our last session, because it's going to go out and become Billy. Sorry, it's cyclical.
Banish it back in time. I will say this definitely does not.
Troll thought, that troll thought. Just ignore that.
That's fine. That's fine. For what it's worth, this thing definitely does not strike you as being akin to any description of the void you've ever read. We'll say this is very definitely a something. This is a very powerful, very self-centered being committed to consumption. And if it's anything like the divine beings you are familiar with, if it's anything like any manner of outsider that is sort of composed of, the fundamental forces of the universe, this thing probably draws its power from the, shall we say, virtue, if you can call it that, of hunger. Whatever sensations, thoughts, plans, acts made in the name of consuming more, of accumulating more, of gaining more, it is very likely that this thing benefits and is enriched by those plans and thoughts and acts. They are much like any act of virtue in alignment with a given god, akin to a form of worship, as far as it is concerned.
Okay.
Supposing that your theory, which you're pretty confident in, holds true, that this thing is akin to an outsider.
Thank you. Burberry is taking notes, sorry.
No worries.
Sounds like you had a much more productive afternoon than me.
Oh, no, yours was very productive. Yours was just emotionally productive.
Okay, well, it sounds like we're probably going to get going, get everybody together, and get a teleportation circle drawn?
That is doable. The party can reconvene after a couple of hours. And
And A plus
back up.
for tying in like session 3 stuff.
He's been there for a little while. Just kind of lurking.
In the back of our minds.
Yeah.
And in the hatred of our hearts.
Question, DM.
Yeah.
Seeing as things are starting to get close to the end, there is one matter I need to take care of.
Okay.
I need to find where my brother's at.
Your brother.
Bubba.
So we are hanging around here for a bit, huh?
Oh, your cousin. I was under the impression Bubba was your cousin.
I mean, he could be both. It's hard to keep track sometimes.
When dealing with
Sure.
Barnaby, if he says, I need to deal with blank name, it's either a relative or one of his fingers. You never know which one.
I know Bubba. I know who Bubba. Victor, right?
It's true, they are the same thing, and he is.
That is feasible if you would like to do something about that.
Are we...
If everybody's ready to go,
Yeah.
I can get a circle drawn and we can head out.
Okay. So Noel will draw a teleportation circle on the floor of the chamber. Call the party together. Say your last goodbyes to Jade. She'll give you a little kiss and tell you to call her as soon as you can. And you inscribe the final sigil and are able to step inside, followed by the rest of the party. And with a series of flashes, you would each find yourself stepping into the familiar dark vaulted chamber of the sort of teleportation hub under Warnala. Which is not to say that there are many circles here. There is the one circle, which is itself linked to Freeport, but which you have now used as sort of the target for your own circle and are now stepping out of. Maybe 20 feet ahead of you, there was a doorway, and no sooner have you guys sort of stepped into this chamber than the door opens and a couple of guards step inside, and very quickly, you guys can pull out your little credentials, show them your medals. You're like, yeah, it's us. We're here. Blah, 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 blah. Can we talk to your armory? And you're able to get your sending stone thing set up. If you want to take out
Yeah, I'll just ask how much it'll cost me.
Eastern Alliance fund bucks, will charge you, 300 here. I think they've got a decent enough supply here. They won't charge you too much for some sending stones.
All right, perfect.
And they will hand you the one and hold on to the other for Jade, whom I assume you would be able to demonstrate for them so they know who to look for.
Yeah, I can describe her for them.
Yeah. So with that, they now know who to look for, who to keep an eye out for, and to hand this stone over to. So with your business settled, if there's anything else to do in Illical before you guys leave, speak now. Nope. All right. You guys step through the teleportation circle that you just... Oop. God damn it. You step through the teleportation circle you just stepped out of, and with another series of flashes, you find yourself stepping into the multi-circled teleportation vault in Fort Franco. You can see to your left and your right circles in alcoves leading to various other islands and cities in the Emerald's coast. But you guys are able to make your way towards the stairs and the heavy iron doors, which again open and reveal guards stepping through to inspect who just came through. The whole rigmarole takes place again. You vouch for your identities and step back out into the sunshine of Fort Franco, make your way out of the gates and to the edge of Freeport. It is late morning, closing in on noon at this point. The skies are relatively clear. It is a brisk, sunny day, and the day is yours. What would you like to do?
It's nice to be back above ground finally.
I agree.
Hooray.
Barnaby, you
Now just put
look
these
like
left.
you've got your mind set on a task or something today.
As I scan the horizon for a boat.
Would you like to let wherever we're going know you're coming?
Not at the moment.
Because I have a messenger bird.
Wait, since when did you get a messenger bird, Burberry?
It's one of the items that we got. It's the Silver Raven.
I got a
Can
messenger bird, too.
messenger.
As
Oh,
I pat Bark.
Oh, you fixed him.
Bark, bark,
He's fine.
bark.
Bark has seen so much shit.
Just
Bark
as much
just-
as the owner.
Mark has died
just-
more than any of us.
He floats up to the biggest thing in the room, opens his mouth, like a little lighter jet of fire shoots out, and it just steps on him, like every time. Bark, bark.
I mean, can you like armor plate for?
That was
It's not worth it.
Was
It's a good thing Bart can't actually think or hear us.
Bark,
because his feelings would be hurt right now if he did.
bark, bark.
You know,
Look, Bloody, if a fly looks at you on the wrong day, you were just out of it.
Grr.
you know what, David, pat on the back for also being a person that was very insistent on having a dog that should not have survived his
That's why I went with something that is going to be able to come back all the time.
Just do what I do. Teach you to jump into a bag of holding with combat starts.
I don't want to have Bark and have to try and remember which iteration it is.
Come on, Bark the seventh.
Exactly.
That's
None of that.
Yeah, it's Bark Junior. He's
He's just a ball of like sawdust by the end of the campaign.
charged sawdust.
Yeah. Charcoal.
So, would Barnaby want to ask us for assistance, or is this something that he's going to want to do on his own today?
I think for right now, all Barnaby's going to say is he needs to find out some information on him. That's about it.
Alright, I suppose we can tag along, and, if you need us, we'll be there, at the very least.
You're welcome to help as long as we keep things on the secret for right now.
I think we can do that.
Is it spelled with or without an A?
Secret doesn't have an A in it.
It does, but it's on the ocean.
I gotta watch you.
I will say, if your conversation has any chance of turning into, like, a scuffle, I wouldn't mind getting some sleep first.
Yeah, I could do with some sleep first, but I don't think scouting out is going to lead to a kerfuffle.
I suppose not.
Okay. Well, for starters, I guess Barnaby, since you asked, go ahead and give me a perception check as you stand just outside the gates of Fort Franco and look south across the channel leading into Freeport Harbor.
With Bardic Inspiration.
What was that, a D8?
D10, actually.
Ooh. That makes that a 17.
Okay, 17. Well, looking out at the traffic today, you see a few ships sort of sailing in and out of the harbor as they do on a daily basis here. You are very confident you do not see the white ship that Victor LeBlanc has been staying on, which means one of two things. Either Victor LeBlanc is still docked where he is always docked in the Iron Wharf, or his ship has left Freeport. But it is definitely not on the harbor sailing right now.
All right. Well, that's where I think we're going to have to do some investigation here. See if it's still at that.
Sure.
At their place.
All right. So if you guys want to take a walk into town, it's probably a good 15, 20 minutes from Fort Franco. You guys can just kind of follow the marina along Angler's Landing, kind of rounding the downtown waterfront, passing the sort of East Alliance wharf that is the sort of access point to Yamadazath Penitentiary out in the middle of the harbor. And now sort of bending northwestward along the sort of the west side of the city. You see the Iron Wharf up ahead. And I will say, just kind of riding that perception check with a 17, not too difficult for you to see. Even, I think some of the party, Noelle, I think, has enough passive perception. She would also notice pretty quickly the Bieskar Talwar is still docked right where you left it. Does not look like it has moved or had any real changes in its anchorage since the last time you saw it.
Alright.
Alright, well, it sounds like we're going to head back to the Presidium and rest up for tomorrow.
Okay.
I think I will actually be spending the day in town today if we have nothing planned.
Okay, are you not, like, super tired? I know I'm pretty beat.
I am, but it is early morning and it's a little early for a nap. Plus, I'll be honest, part of me really wants pancakes right now.
I can respect that.
With extra fruit.
I can really respect that. Alright, well, while you're getting pancakes, I think I'm just gonna go lie down on the couch in the Presidium.
Noel's gonna go crash.
Yup.
Sure. Well, Noel's heading for the couch. Burberry's looking for pancakes. Anything from anybody else?
Barnaby's gonna plop himself by the dock away from the boat. Let's go
Okay.
fishing. He's got
All right.
some things to think about.
Just get some distance and puzzle as the day goes on. Okay. Then
He almost died.
you gonna take it easy today too?
Yeah, he almost died.
Yeah, fair enough.
Very traumatic.
Well, I think you guys get back to the Presidium after about half an hour walking and stepping in to the courtyard. You would find Raynor and Secundo have returned and are back at it with the training dummies and the sparring and whatnot. And they'd see you guys. They'd be like, "Hey, you guys! Holy shit! You guys look terrible."
Hey, you guys do too.
Thanks. Yeah. And I mean, sure enough, he's got like a split lip. He's got some bruising on his face. Some cuts in his tunic. But
You want to borrow this ring to fix that lip of yours?
overall, I do think you probably look worse than he does at this point. He's like, yeah. No, I mean, we got back. I guess the day you guys left is what Gideon said. Kind of crazy timing. What happens? Everything okay?
Oh, well, we had to take care of some stuff on Illico. Had to explore this dragon tomb and best the spirit of an ancient brass dragon or something like that, so...
Yeah, normal stuff for sure. Yeah, I've definitely done Dragon Tomb. I have.
Good to have you both back.
Yeah, no, it's good to be back. Secunda will definitely come up to join you guys and just kind of say, "It's like I hope the rest of the party is also well. Burberry and Barnaby and Lauren."
Yeah, everybody's doing okay. Lauren's sort of off on her own right now, but
No.
Beyond that, we're all fine, and yeah, we've just been busy, and as you could probably see, are pretty tired right now.
Well, I'm sure you guys want to rest. We got back from Crown Peak a few days ago. Like Rainer said, I guess if you're interested, whenever you've got some time and are feeling up to it, we already gave our report to Gideon, but if you want, if it's useful to you, we could fill you in.
I'm sure we're gonna be having a few conversations with Gideon in the coming days.
Sure, yeah. Welcome back. I'm glad you're okay.
Thanks. I'm glad you guys are alright too. Did the tomb go okay?
Yeah. You should have seen how many fucking zombies were walking around that place. It was crazy. It was like, yeah, there was a lot of undead up and about. As far as you can tell, I mean, it all looked like invaders. You know, they got the forearms, the big flat heads, and all the eyes, and kind of buggy.
Just hanging out, wandering around the tomb, or?
Yeah, no, they're just like up and about, kind of moseying about. Some of them were fucking throwing themselves into the pit down at the bottom of it.
You talking about the acid pit?
No, the body pit.
Oh, the one in the like sacrificial chamber thing. Yeah, I didn't get a look at that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Burberry went in there. We got the notes from him about it.
Can we spare a rogue thought for a pit of zombies?
Ugh.
It's just a meat grinder in there.
Yeah, it was pretty heinous looking. I won't lie. A lot of weird lights and some real creepy vibes coming out of there. But you know, we handled it.
Is there still
mostly.
a red light sticking out of the place, or?
It's still shining, like the light's still going, but we couldn't figure out how to turn that off. I think that might just be kind of stuck.
I feel like it has something to do with like when there's like a threshold of sacrifices, it just sort of turns on, it keeps going.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. It's dark, creepy shit. Gideon's currently looking over those notes. He talked to some nerd about it a couple days ago. He had some guy researched ruins like Crown Peak come in and give us a big old stupid report. So he's been looking over that with Gerald the past few days.
Well, like I said, I think we're going to be probably having a few conversations with Gideon in the coming days to get a sense of what he's learned.
Sure. Yeah. Hey, get some rest. Seriously, you guys look like shit.
Yep, that's the plan. Good luck with the training, I guess?
Yeah, gotta stay sharp, right? Fucking hurts. Cool. Yeah, well, if you guys are going to chill, I don't know that you would necessarily see much of the upper members of the Gatewatch. They would be pretty occupied with their duties today, whatever they're up to. Barnaby, as far as your fishing on the docks go, how long are you staying out there?
What time is it again?
Well, you would have parted ways with the party a little bit before noon.
Mm-hmm.
So how late would you want to stay?
Well, given that I have not been fishing for a bit, probably the whole day, rest of the day.
So by sundown, still out there?
Yep, Bark's just at my back,
Sure.
sitting on my bucket.
And before long, the sun would set and darkness would begin to overtake the city.
I do have daytime activity.
No. Barnaby will stay fishing. Burberry, what is that?
So two things. First, I would like to go to the Presidium and ask if they have any idea what happened to Father Severin.
To the Presidium or the Temple Viridia?
Conclave, sorry. Right.
Conclave, gotcha.
Yeah, no, well.
Sure. I think that if you were to head to the conclave, Mother Boldenil is sort of the senior priest at the temple. You can track her down. You've spoken with her many times before. She would not have a good answer for you, I don't think. She would tell you that the last time I spoke with Father Severin was a few months ago when he came to town. I think it was actually the same time you came to town, if I remember correctly.
I'm mainly asking if anybody has seen him recently because I tried to both sending to him and to scry on him, and there was nothing. So
Really?
I'm concerned.
That is concerning. I mean, he's based out of the Chaser Temple de Cour. I'm not his direct superior by any means, but
So I went. What didn't we go by the conclave and Chaser? Anyone there?
yeah, you went to that temple and you met
The other guy. Yeah.
Belzane or something, I think his name was.
Yeah, so I went. I did go by the Chaser conclave and talked to his underling Belsine, and he said that he had not seen him in a while either.
Brisane. I was close. That is concerning.
And while he is a little over the top, and he's very dedicated and focused. So I am a bit concerned that he wouldn't have made another appearance in a while.
Well, I mean, the last I spoke with him, he had come to Freeport after he received a missive from Cour, is what he told me. He had been beckoned to the city to begin some sort of pilgrimage, and he attempted to commune with Cour here in the temple, but apparently did not hear anything back, and he was a little upset about that. But then later,
Like 5 messages on his answering machine. He hasn't called back yet, and it's been 2 hours.
it was, he was a little befuddled, certainly. But then I suppose I believe he said he had met you actually later that day, and the next I saw him, he was in much higher spirits and seemed to be in.
Yes, his sermon was very insightful.
I'm sure it was. Said that you had mentioned pain, some kind, some artifact, and believed that was what he was looking for. After that, he departed, and I don't know where he went after that.
I might stop by again tomorrow, and unfortunately, I seem to have lost my bookmarks again, so I can't do what I would like to today.
Well, obviously, you're always welcome here, brother.
I set myself a time, an hour in the morning, to set my bookmarks, and if I don't set them right, then it's all just out the window.
This is not worth dealing with for the rest of the day. Too much to do. Sure.
Okay, then second, I am gonna cast clairvoyance. I'm gonna cast clairvoyance on my parents' trading thing. And I'm gonna spend some time just watching my parents like a weirdo.
Well, clairvoyance has a range of 1 mile.
Never mind then.
Which would not be the spell for that. If you wanted to scry on them,
Don't have the spell slots for that.
well, shit.
It's fine. I'll add it to my list of stuff that I would like.
List of stuff to do. Okay, fair enough.
And then third, because it's been ages, I'm gonna go do some proselytizing.
All right. Virgo finds himself some soapboxes in the park.
I will also do some self-study in Elvish during meals.
Sure. Fair enough. All right. So you can mark a day of Elvish off. And do some preaching out on the streets.
Yeah, I'll do it twice, but in 2 different locations, and I'll switch so that I can do the other half.
Sure. Fair enough. So with that, then, is there anything else anybody wants to take care of during the day?
I mean, the only thing that I had was I was going to cast Sending to Aloran at some point, but I was going to do that probably before bed.
Okay. Well, if there is nothing during the day, then after sundown, I believe Burberry is wrapping up his proselytizing, and God, I completely blanked on the other thing you said you were about to do. Elvish studies. There we go. Barnaby would still be fishing, and John Noel would still be in the Presidium. So who's got something for the evening?
Well, I'll cast Sending to Aloran. Just, I know it hasn't been that long, but I figure I'd just check in, see how she's doing, see if everything's going okay, see if she's safe.
It has been all of 3 days, I think, since you guys parted ways with her.
Okay, well, it's felt a lot longer than that. That's,
It has been a long time, but in game, it's only been 3 days.
It feels like 3 weeks.
Yeah, for some reason. I know, given that there's 2 narratives going on with her being away and us here, I didn't want to mess up the timeline, so we don't have to RP it or whatever, but I just wanted to check in with her and see if she's okay and stuff.
Okay.
I would like to play with Samantha when I get home.
Sure.
I think Aloran doesn't really have much to say. She's still looking for a place.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, as long as she's okay and everybody's safe, so.
Yeah, she's fine.
So they are in transit looking for a place to set up at the village.
I think there's one more thing.
Okay.
I would probably... If Burberry... Would Burberry be back at some point in the evening?
Yes. I'm probably playing chess with Samantha when you look for it.
Okay, yeah. At some point, I'd probably want to knock on your door.
I might note that I think at this point, Samantha might actually know that Burberry's too, just because I wouldn't be surprised if she either ripped off, singed, or burned his outfit.
Something. That's very possible.
Yeah.
She probably doesn't care.
I figured so. It might be she plays chess with Barry and she plays hide and seek with Burr.
That's cute.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's just basically she's got 2 friends now.
There you go.
We're friends for the price of one.
Yeah, this is way more fun. You're 2 people? You've been 2 people this whole time? Been holding out on me, Burberry.
Or half as cool, depending.
If you're a dick.
Well, I'd say probably before you go play with Samantha, Noah, knock on your door and just say, Burberry, are you in there?
Who is it?
It's just Noel. Just Noel.
Oh, coming.
And so the door opens a lot faster than it used to because he doesn't bother getting the whole.
And just step inside. Hey, Barry, how are you guys doing?
Fairly good. It has been a great day. We had pancakes for breakfast. Then we had those absolutely amazing sandwiches for lunch. And Barry let me have 2 courses for dinner.
I mean, that's fair. You've definitely earned treating yourself, I think.
I should die more often.
Well, sorry, I was just gonna say, the reason I wanted to talk to you this evening was just that, now that we've kind of wrapped up with the dragon stuff and we've got a little bit of time to think and plan what we're gonna do next, I don't know, I've just been thinking about this whole ritual thing that you've kind of got floating in the background as a maybe in the future. It's all still completely up to you, of course, how far we go with that or whether we do it at all. But I know one of your big concerns was just that there's a lot of unknowns, a lot of question marks that are still kind of lingering about what that process would look like and how it would affect you and all that stuff. And I was thinking, maybe there's someone in the Conclave who's actually, like, been through it, who could offer you maybe some advice or guidance about the whole thing?
Well, I mean, guidance is a pretty easy spell to well.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
But Barry can't help but crack a smile.
I do like where your head is at. And I He's scared that we're going to stop remembering all the things that we've been doing and that we'll be gone. I think I hope we'll retain the memories. There are things that I am concerned that I will lose. I don't know what. I mean, we'll remember all the food that we ate. We'll remember all the adventures that we'll have. We remember fuck it. Like, I'll remember.
I mean, all of that is certainly fair. It's a scary thing, and you're right, there's a lot of unknowns going into it. But I feel like those things have to have answers somewhere, right? I mean, someone's got to know something, regardless of how unprecedented your situation is.
I do like the idea of talking to someone, and admittedly, I am probably 60-40 for, because I would worry that, as I said before, I'm worried that I'm going to stop being able to do cool shit.
Yeah, that's fair.
If we can find somebody who has undergone something similar, or if we can find one of their journals, I think that would it would help.
Okay. That's good to hear.
Yes.
We could put that on the docket then.
Would you like to play a game? I'm trying to teach Samantha how to castle.
Sure. Yeah. I don't think me and Samantha have had much time to, like, interact or get to know each other yet, so that's a good opportunity.
She's gotten a lot better.
Okay. Well, I'll hang out.
Burned to peace in 3 weeks.
A lot better.
This is the last one. She holds up like this lump of charcoal.
Barry just takes it and starts cleaning it off.
This is the reason we got her stone ones.
Yeah, this old wood one was pretty, but I burned it.
I mean, on the upside, you have an entire fleet of pawns now.
I do have a lot of extras. You look down at the board and you can see that while you've been talking, she's been quietly just like sneaking wooden pawns onto the board in like a third row in front of all of her pieces.
Oh, I'd be down for that game. And so Burr sits across from her and they start playing with all these extra pawns. And he's like, all right, Samantha. If we don't manage to force a tie, we failed.
I'm gonna beat you. You hear like that deep, like demonic, like fucking overlay in her voice when she says that. I'm gonna beat you.
She seems a touch competitive.
Oh, it's fine. We Oh, well, she doesn't try to burn us anymore when she loses.
Okay, well that's an improvement.
Barry won't play with me if I burn him.
Huh? What was that, Jacob?
I said Burberry won't play with me anymore if I burn him.
It is a lot more boring when you're the only person.
Yeah.
But if you manage to either win or if you lose and you don't try and burn anything, we'll let you keep the extra pawns for the next round.
Deal. Yeah, she jumps on that. I'll say go ahead and just give me an intelligence check. Well, this is fitting. What'd you get?
21.
She got a 3.
But did she burn it? Did she burn anything?
I think she really holds on until you take the last of the wooden pawns. And as you reach forward, she's like, "No!" And you just see the pawn just... And she's like, "I'm sorry." It's just covered her face.
Okay, you didn't burn us, and hey,
I'm sorry.
Well, it's fine. You took your own pawn. It's just like a cinder on them.
This is still smoking. It's like you took all of them.
Well, not that one. You got that one before I ever did.
Yeah.
You're being a sore winner.
Over the course of the game, you definitely you just continue to just fucking steamroll her. Like she gets careless after that, and then it's just like throwing pieces away. It feels like.
I think if Burr continues to steamroll, Barry will very politely gently push him out of the way, and he'll play a teaching game with her. So that's whenever you're trying to teach another person good ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that way she'll win, barely, but she'll win.
She's definitely kind of sulky for the rest of the game, but she participates at least. She will learn, despite her unction.
I have a fun toy for you if you would like it.
What is it?
And I'm actually going to go ahead and give her the silver raven because it's a magical it's a magical item, so it's going to be harder for her to burn.
Sure.
That's
pretty. What is it? What is it?
So you can actually use this to send letters to people who are within 25 miles of you.
Is it magic?
Yes.
Oh my god! Just immediate, just fucking dinner plate eyes, just staring at this little bird in her hands. How does it work?
Tell it a message, and then describe
Rainer's her brother, right?
Secundo's her brother.
Secundo. Then describe Secundo to it.
Okay. So she's about to talk to it. She looks at both of you and then scooches back away from the game board, and gets up on her bed and just starts whispering into her hands. And then after she does this, you watch as she sort of holds it out, and there is this sort of glimmer of light as this little silver bird begins to flap its wings and grow. And before long, it is more or less a full-size raven, seemingly entirely made out of silver. Beak, legs, feathers, everything. And no sooner has it taken form in her hands, and her eyes are just, again, dinner plates, wide, gasping expression. The bird flaps its wings, and with a sound that's not too unlike... it would almost be faint sort of crashing of cymbals, tiny chimes kind of clashing together as it flaps its wings and just darts out the window.
So what it's going to do is it's going to deliver the message to Secundo, and then it'll come back.
And within about 5 minutes, you see the bird fly back in the window and land on her hand. That's so cool.
And if, or at least that's my understanding, if that works, or does it stop with whoever delivers the message to?
No, it stays a raven for 12 hours.
Oh. So yeah,
And then after that, it can't be used for 2 days.
It'll be a bird like this for the next 12 hours, and then you won't be able to use it for a couple of days. But then you'll be able to use it again.
Ooh. So this metal bird kind of just clatters out of her hands and like perches on the bed frame, and just kind of clapped its little beak, just.
That's actually really cool.
Does it? Can it send more messages during that 12 hours, or can it?
You can cast Animal Messenger at will while it's in Raven form.
You can also keep bothering him when
and this is Burr, by the way. You can also keep bothering him during that 12 hours.
She grabs the bird with both hands and pulls it back. And then this time she runs over to the window and like throws it.
If you want to talk to anybody in the Presidium with it, or if you make a friend, you can also send them messages. You just have to describe the person that you want the bird to send messages to. So if you want to send it to me and I'm in the city, it'll come to me.
Okay, that's really cool. Thank you, Burberry. She'll give you a big, big hug.
Aw, and it doesn't hurt.
No fire.
Yay!
She's getting better. She's motivated.
it's what is it? She's being that thing that you do to dogs.
Conditioned.
Not conditioned. The like conversing.
Socialized.
Socialized. She's being socialized.
It's fair.
A little bit at a time.
Yep. Yeah, I guess for however long you guys are hanging out with her for the rest of the night, she is taking a break every couple of minutes to catch her bird as it flies back on the window, whisper something to it, and then throw it back out the window. Like, she does not stop.
I think Noelle would probably lean over to Burberry and just whisper, like, I think you might have wanted to wait till the morning to give this thing to her.
You'll get a message from Burberry. It says,
you could do me a favor and apologize to Sukandu for me. I'll also apologize tomorrow, but you know.
Yeah, I can. If I see him, I will pass that message along.
I did purposely avoid telling her that you didn't actually have to know the name of the person that you're sending messages to.
Yeah, that's fair.
just
I think
sending messages to random people that she sees on the street.
I will say, at this point, Noelle's probably going to go turn in, get some sleep.
Okay. Anything else from Burberry?
Burberry will also shut down for the night. After he wears...
Wrapping up. I think by the time you take your leave for the night, she is still sending the bird out on... Just immediately sending a message as soon as it comes back.
I mean, no, it's fine. He'll get 2 days of sleep before this.
I think, honestly, Burberry, you would probably pass Gerald coming downstairs and just kind of give him a good night. He's going, hey, Burberry, hey, do you know anything about this metal bird that's been flying around?
What? Sorry, we're breaking up. No connection. No.
He's like, Burberry, I can see you.
I'm kidding.
It's one of those things that I thought was a good idea, and I didn't realize that it's fine. It'll wear off after another 6 hours.
No, I'm not to complain. That's Samantha's bird, right?
It is now, though. It's not attunement, so if you need to borrow it from her and you ask her very nicely and promise to play her a game, she'll probably let you use it.
Cool. And I'm just double checking that that's not some I didn't conjure a bird, but I definitely sent one to go spy on the Presidium. Just double check.
It's a magic item that I have that it basically lets her pass messages.
It's been talking to everyone. I figured it was her. It sounds a lot like her. It just wanted to double check. That's all.
You know, I'm glad she's
So-
talking to everyone. I was a little worried she'd be focused on her brother.
I wonder how many times he's been talked to. I'll go ask.
About once every 5 minutes, if I have to guess.
Yeah, well, it's been in and out of our office, talking to me and Gideon for past half hour. So
Can it?
I think she's making the rounds.
Well, it's super shiny right now. No pun intended. She'll get used to it.
It's very cute. I'm not criticizing at all. I just wanted to double check. That's all.
I will, and I'm just giving you, and I'll probably let them know too. It does have a range of 25 miles, so if you try to escape it by leaving the building, it won't work.
Noted. Noted.
Well, no, it works at a range of, it's at 25 miles.
Something like that.
Oh no, it moves at 25 miles an hour, so it'll chase down whoever as long as they're within range.
Yeah.
So yeah, it
50 miles for 24 hours for a flying creature.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is a 25-mile range. But that would be a one-way trip. But
Gotcha.
yeah, Gerald just wanted to double check, just because she would have absolutely been sending messages to everyone.
It is 50 miles. 25 hours is for non-flying animals.
Right, but it's per 24 hours, and the Raven only lasts for 12 hours.
Gotcha. Okay. Sorry.
That was the math I
Okay.
had to do.
Yeah. All right.
And that would be a one-way trip, so someone would have to cast it and send it back.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just wanted to check in, and then he'll say goodnight, head off. You can head to bed. Want to check on Barnaby? He's still fishing? What's going on?
I mean, it's getting late,
Yeah.
so probably would start to head back, I would imagine.
All right, heading back to the
If it's
Presidium.
dark out.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay. Then I guess everyone is taking a rest, calling it for the night.
Yeah. I thought about keeping this green, but like after a bit I realized that anytime that we ever need to talk to anybody, they're never within that amount. They're always far the fuck away.
You have sending. Well, I think with that, the party would be able to settle down for a long rest without interruption, except for one of you.
We all
Not
get-
yet.
No. We were all going to be like woken up at least once by a raven going, "Hey."
I think if you told her you were going to bed, she would not wake you up with the bird.
Aww. That's so nice.
She would be considered enough until she knew you were going to bed.
Probably still keep my window closed.
That's fair.
The bird just goes window. Tink, 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 tink.
Even with your windows shut, Noel, however, I do think that at some point in the night, you would find yourself stirring to a familiar female voice calling to you across a vast distance. I hope that I am finding you in a restful slumber, Miss Quartermanch. Are you well? And as you begin to kind of open your eyes, you find yourself sitting in a familiar glade surrounded by tall, expansive canopy of trees. Their roots sort of intermingled with these standing stones, worn smooth and perforated with these strange, perfectly round little windows. And standing in the glade with you, beneath the boughs of an exceptionally large tree, in which there was a large oaken door set in a naturally sort of curving frame of roots, you would see the gatekeeper. You are standing in her glade, and she is standing not far off, just sort of dress kind of flowing in the shallow pool at her feet, looking at you with a sweet smile.
Oh, Gatekeeper. It's good to hear from you again. It hasn't been too terribly long since we last spoke.
No, I suppose it hasn't. I take it you're well.
As well as I can be, I suppose. It's been one thing after another recently, it feels like, and everything's just gotten a lot more crazy. Even since we last talked. This is the first night of proper rest I've gotten in a few days, actually.
Well, I don't wish to keep you up for terribly long and disturb your rest, though I also do not wish to add to the craziness of late. And I fear I may be about to, so you will have to forgive me. I believe I may have a favor to call upon you for.
A favor like for the deal we made?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I did owe you a favor. I guess I'm curious. Since we made that deal, I haven't actually heard an update from you about Amelia's situation. Is there any news?
Nothing terribly noteworthy. I am told she is in the process of fashioning herself some improvisation of a bow in lieu of a working bowstring. She has had to make do with small spears.
Oh. Well, it sounds like she's really struggling out there.
She is a stubborn and determined individual. I do not think she will be taken so easily by the wilds, dangerous though they may be. Though I think it will be some time before she finds herself in a position to thrive, shall we say.
I guess that's good to hear.
At any rate, she is certainly no nearer civilization than when last you saw her.
Well, I appreciate the update. It doesn't bring me any joy to know that she's struggling, but it also feels right. Like it was something that had to happen. I feel like this might be the first time in a long time where she's really had to actually struggle.
She does not seem unfamiliar with it. Though certainly unpracticed.
I have a feeling that this kind of turmoil is something that she's not quite as used to in her normal life.
Arguably so.
So, what are you intending to ask of me then, if I am to make good on our arrangement? Do you have a job or a task for me to do?
I have been visited by one seeking counsel and aid from an impartial third party, shall we say, to their situation. And while I am not necessarily able to render the sort of aid they need so directly, hearing what they required did call you and your friends to mind. It does strike me as the sort of thing you would be quite capable of seeing through.
I would say, when we made our deal, I was pretty explicit about it being just between you and I. It would not feel fair to drag the others into a situation for which they have no ties and no obligation.
and that is fair. And if you do not feel that you are up to the task, I cannot say I would begrudge you that, though I would argue in that case that the favor would still stand to be cashed in at a later date. I would leave that to your determination.
I'm not saying that I don't want to do this. I certainly don't want to turn my nose up at an opportunity to make things even between the two of us. I can't drag my friends into another problem like that. At least not without some kind of compensation or reward for them. I know I'd be willing to accept just becoming even on our deal as my reward for a quest like this, but they would deserve something extra. Is there perhaps a way we could work out a payment or something to give them reason to want to participate?
A moment. You will see her almost fade for a moment from view as she stands in the pool. She's barely a shadow standing in front of you now. And she stands that way for about a minute before she comes back and kind of returns in full into full view and says to you very evenly, I believe that those terms are amenable.
Okay, well, if you think we're a good fit for this task, then I suppose we could probably make this work.
I obviously think quite highly of your abilities, considering the nature of our initial meeting. And I am given to understand that you have been quite busy on your side of the veil these past months.
You could say that again.
Making quite the name for yourselves.
You've been making quite the name for yourselves.
Get out of here, Burbert.
No, I'm sorry.
In addition, you are also outsiders to the Fae. You are removed from the intrigues of our courts and do not have any conflicting interests, at least as far as I am aware, that would impugn on this particular errand, which makes you, in my eyes, at the very least, a safe party to approach with this particular problem.
I suppose when it comes to your politics, we are a powerful but impartial third party, so that makes sense.
As I hoped. I do not believe it is my place to fully vet you. That all said, I believe I will have to leave that to the solicitor in question. But if he is in agreement with my assessment of you, then I think the full details of this errand could be disclosed at his discretion.
All right. Well, that sounds fair.
Would you care to meet them?
But, like right now? Like in the dream right now?
I can send him in.
Oh. Sure, I guess. There's no reason not to.
One moment. And this time you will see her completely fade from view. The shadow of her form completely just melts into this dreamscape around you. And the shape of the plants and the water at your feet and the great tree begin to sort of shimmer and swirl like a sort of dissolving mist. And you feel yourself fading back to sleep. And then, before you fully lose consciousness, you see the mists begin to brighten and swirl. taking a new shape, creating a new environment. And before you, an unfamiliar male figure. So, Chani, if you could please describe the man that Noelle is now seeing in her dream.
He gives off an air of arrogance and confidence.
Okay.
For sure. And he has very spiky, like, blonde hair that looks kind of like unkempt.
Wait,
But
are
he
we
has-
talking like Naruto spiky or like Saiyan spiky?
Let me see. I know Jacob and I found this picture, and I was like, oh my god. It's him.
Is it like...
Is it like short and trimmed?
No, it's just kind of spiky.
Wait, does he look like he works for a loan shark in a Japanese anime?
Not in...
How chiseled is he?
Oh, I think... Oh, here it is. I found it. There you go.
Oh. Okay, well, okay. Got some Asterian vibes going on there.
Yep.
Swept back. There
back
it is. Yeah.
Stuck to the side,
Yeah.
wearing some, like, plate mail.
Gotcha. Is he just what race is he?
He's an elf.
You know, I feel like I can't put my finger on it, but I simultaneously want to flirt with this man and punch him in the face.
Exactly.
Like, that is the vibe that permeates the dream space.
Yes.
And I
True.
should ask, since you are the messenger of this dream spell, you've been designated the messenger, Chani. Aldrin has full control over this space and what it looks like. So where does he show up to speak with Noelle?
I feel like it's probably like kind of another foresty area, very sunny and bright. Gives you like summer vibes.
So just kind of a different glade, basically.
Yes.
Wait.
A much clearer view of the sky and the sun.
Did she just fully? I'll transfer you.
Basically.
I do think Noelle would probably be a little taken aback just suddenly being face to face with this handsome man.
Oh, my dear. I didn't know she was going to have someone so lovely.
Punch him in the face!
Tonight.
I'm regretting this already.
Well, you know what? Alora got it from somewhere.
He'll step forward and like take your hand and
Oh, just
give
kinda-
you like a little.
I just give it a kiss, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not allowed to drink for the rest of this conversation.
Noelle's just having low-key flashbacks every time this happens. This man is a fucking creep and a monster. Fucking... What's his name? Willem Pye, the now Aldrin, have all kissed her hand, I think.
Oh, you don't know his name yet?
I know.
No, I haven't said it yet.
I know. I keep saying it. I can't
I
stop.
know. Oh, my fair lady, my name, you may call me Aldrin. Might I have yours?
Aldrin, it's nice to meet you. My name is Noelle Courtemanche.
Ah, you have to be careful, my dear. Don't give your name away freely to Fae. But I am an elf. You do not have to worry.
Does that actually work in, like, dreams and stuff? I thought that was something you had to do, like, in real life for it to actually...
Don't know, I'm not a Fae. But it could.
Fair enough.
Always be cautious.
Good advice. So, I take it you're the, solicitor who is looking for people to do some work for them? Is that correct?
Yes, yes. I have a very important question first.
Oh,
See if
okay.
you'll be even interested. Does your group like children? He has like almost like a pained expression on his face. And he brings like,
Children? I guess. We've got some experience, I suppose.
Are you good with children? Can you tolerate them?
Sure. I mean, Burberry and John both have, seems like, backgrounds with working with kids.
Perfect. Okay, that was a big thing for me.
Oh no, Kiki!
Perfect. Okay. So what is like the strengths of your party and what do you do?
Oh, you with children or in general?
No, just in like your firepower, your killing capacity. Are you able to be stealthy?
Is the killing question at all related to the children thing?
No. You don't kill the children.
Okay.
No killing of children. Well, I've come close a few times this past week, but that is a different matter.
For our general skills, I primarily do a lot of spellcasting. Burberry is a cleric who heals us. Barnaby is a good shot with his gun. And we have an incredibly strong guy named John on our team who may be invincible.
Okay, an invincible person. You're already distracting me with your lovely appearance.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind.
You said someone has a big gun. What type of gun are we speaking of?
I guess I'm not entirely sure.
Literal!
I think it's a
Guns
Winchester.
can mean other things.
No, I don't know. I'm not very versed in that kind of stuff, so I'm not an expert.
Is it a quite large gun?
Yeah, it's pretty long, and I mean, not to mention that he's already
love
like
that in a
a
man.
big guy. I mean, he's like 7.5 feet tall, and this thing is like.
Taller than I. How dashing.
Okay, well we know what kind of thing he's into, which is yes.
Well, if that's the sort of thing you're into, I think you would definitely enjoy John. He's quite handsome.
John, you say.
So you wanted us to maybe do some babysitting, it sounds like, and possibly with some killing involved?
Well, hopefully no killing.
No killing. Gotcha.
I feel like he's just
he started off so smooth, and this is going to...
I'm sorry. It's worse, Johnny.
Wait. Okay, wait. Important question. How high is his charisma? You don't have to give me an exact number, but are we like high or low here?
Oh, high. Very high charisma.
Well, no. You see, I was just checking because I wanted to see if the sticking his foot in his mouth was on purpose or not.
No, that's just Johnny unable to keep a straight face right now. Okay. To clarify, there will be no killing of children. It is more of escorting children through a dangerous part in the woods to make sure they make it safely home to Papa.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad. I think we could manage that.
Shouldn't be.
I assume have some kind of route or intention for us here?
Yes, my plan is we go into different Archfey territories and kind of like time teleport through the realms to the merry land of the new place.
Is this a route you're like familiar with? Like you've done this?
Oh yes, I have been the whole way.
Right. Okay.
I'm very much looking forward. Hopefully, if you agree to our time together.
Well, I admit it's not entirely up to me. I do need to run this by my friends back where I'm from, just to make sure that they're okay with this. But from what I've heard, this sounds all pretty doable. So that's good. Do you have any more information about these kids that you keep talking about?
Well, the children are one of rank now. He does like an eye roll.
They are of rank, like royalty?
Yes.
Out of character, could you ask how old these kids are?
That was going to be my next question, actually. How old are these children that we'd be escorting exactly?
They are 8.
Is an 8-year-old Fae being kind of comparable to the 8-year-olds of the people from our realm? Like they're little kids?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they were born 8 years ago. They are new and young Fae.
So, I guess the next question would be, you're familiar with this route and this direction we'd be going? Could you give us any indication of, like, what the route might look like, or what the terrain of the area is?
I drew a map.
Oh, you
Let me show.
drew it?
It's just like a rudimentary circles and like straight lines.
You have no fucking idea how
Oh
great
no!
you are. He's very proud of it. Here's my map.
Oh, wow, that's really good.
Pull out he'll like summon a stick into his hand and just start pointing and be like, "That's me with the sword." Quite dashing, if I say so myself.
Your muscles are quite a lot larger than anyone else's.
Of course they are, darling. I have the 2 kiddos. We're with the gatekeeper. And then we have to go to this fucker. Well, he's okay. She's the
Which one are you talking about?
the guy in the Vale area. Deep Home is fine. High Watcher, terrible. And then we get to the Great Tit Keep.
The Great Tit Keep?
Yes.
Like the bird tit or the boob tit?
Unfortunately, the bird tit.
Ah, I see.
Only it's a great bosom in the air.
Well, I think this will work. As long as we have someone to guide us, it sounds like you'll be there. But this map is should work well for our needs.
Thank you. I worked quite hard on it.
I can see how much effort you put in.
I'm gonna insight check that.
Okay. Alright, I'll roll deception then. Yes, that's a 23.
Alright, not the defense we have.
A 6.
You're the offense, but
I suppose Noelle does come across as pretty genuine then.
Thank you, my dear. Most people don't appreciate my drawing skills, but I'm glad to know that you do.
I suppose I have a soft spot for fellow artists. So are you thinking we'd meet you like at the gatekeeper's home outside of Faeril, or just...
That would probably be the easiest. Lord in the Sky, is that correct?
It's where you are now.
Yes. If you meet me in Faeril, that'll be quite
Perfect. Okay. Well, how soon would you want this? Is there any time limits or restrictions on this that we need to know about?
as soon as you are available. The sooner I can get these children back to their father, the better.
I was gonna ask actually. I know that the Feywild can have weird effects on time. We've had experiences in the past. Do you have any ways to like prevent that or help us mitigate that problem if we do this?
God in the Sky?
I did send you a bit about that in the notes I gave you.
Well, to answer it, it's like, well, it could be fast, it could be long. I don't know. That's what I read.
I will say, Aldrin, give me an Arcana check.
We're gonna go do this Feywild check and just completely pass over the entire red thing.
We just come back in like December.
You guys get back and like everything is burning.
I got a 7.
A 7. Aldrin's like, I'm sure the gatekeeper knows how long is safe.
Gatekeeper. She's more familiar with that sort of thing.
Right. Okay, well, if she's familiar with this stuff, then I trust that she could know how to do this, in a way that won't mess us up. Well, alright, I guess that's kind of everything. Your name was, you said it was Aldrin? Is that right?
Yes, my name is Aldrin, my dear. I can't wait to see you.
Is that your full name?
Oh, Aldrin Sylvier.
Aldrin Sylvier. Got it.
Right after he said, "Don't give your name to anyone."
She is not Fae.
No, actually, I mean, the gatekeeper did sort of say that I might be kind of Fae at one point.
You're not gonna. You can't steal my name.
No, but I could steal your face.
And call herself by your name.
Shauna, your face right there immediately like fell. That was actually like perfectly timed. You're like, I can steal your face, and you're like, He got like very serious suddenly. That was funny. I'm sorry.
I recommend not to.
I was just joking. I promise.
Or am I?
So, do I wake up now? Are we done here at the moment, or?
No, I'm so sorry. I was just captivated in your presence.
Ah, I see.
No, it's just the dreamscape is like perfectly normal, and then it just slowly morphs into they're standing on like Noelle's nose.
But if you need to sleep, I can definitely.
I mean, what you want to hang out? I mean, you were super impressed by all of my drawings.
I can show you more of my drawings if you would like.
That's true.
I can
You
draw
were
you.
so impressed by me.
I can draw you a portrait. You couldn't keep it. It would be a dream portrait, but I could draw you one.
I could do a portrait for you. Capture the beauty that I see in front of me.
I suppose there's no harm in that. If you want it.
Oh, actually, I wonder if... Okay, so if you're doing Dreamscape, right? And since you can control what the Dreamscape looks like, if you did a portrait and you drew the portrait, would it look like the person whose portrait you're drawing, or would it look like your version of the person you're drawing?
Aldrin has full control of the appearance of the dreamscape.
Yeah, look, I can just whip one up right now. And then he'll just pop up a little canvas and just be looking at them.
Noel just turns and goes to sit on like a stump nearby. Okay.
It's just a very flattering stick figure.
He doesn't even put the effort in to make it a real portrait in the dream space.
Yeah.
He
wants to show
intentionally
off
makes
his actual artistic skill.
yeah, and he intentionally makes a well-endowed stick figure instead.
It's just a stick with 2 circles for boobs.
Big lips, eyelashes.
Oh, he'll draw himself next to her holding hands.
The same big muscular stick figure next to it.
So risque, holding hands.
Strong man.
Wow, you really captured your pecs there.
Do you like it, my dear?
It's very flattering. Thank you.
Or do you like more realistic? And then he'll put them both. And it's like an embrace.
Are they still stick figures?
No.
Oh, okay. So now it's
Well,
Yes.
that's
They're just like hugging.
it's a lot of detail. Very intimate. You really captured my breasts pressing up against your plate armor there on the chest.
That is my favorite part. I'm glad you noticed it too.
Yep, it's hard to miss. You really have an eye for that sort of thing.
I'm gonna insight check you again.
Okay. What are you? What are you wanting to insight exactly?
If you actually like the drawing.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right.
Oh, or if is this if she likes the painting, or if she's into what you're putting down?
Oh yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, then I need to roll a deception check, I suppose.
11.
That's a 27.
Oh, so you do like my fine art, darling. I can draw many more.
Well, I suppose you could.
It's like a more escape piece.
Honestly, I should probably just get going. I had a rough couple of days. We were exploring a dragon tomb. We just got back from that. This is my first night's sleep, so I should probably get a good one.
Dragon tomb.
Yeah.
Oh, how tenacious.
It was certainly quite the experience. Not really something I want to do again.
I could comfort you if you'd like.
I think it's probably better if I just get some rest. Just a proper full night's sleep and really just get out of your hair.
I'm sorry, I did not know I was keeping you.
Oh, it's no trouble.
Good night, my lady. He'll take your hand again and place it.
Yep. All right. Thank you for that. All right.
I hope to see you soon, my lady.
I look forward to when we meet again.
And with that, the glade and Aldrin's form swirl into a glimmering mist, and you are again enveloped in the comforting, dark, and quiet of sleep.
I think Noelle just immediately wakes up.
Just
She's just like laying in her room in the dark, and she's just staring up the ceiling for a few minutes, and she's just like, "What the fuck was that?" And why am I so sweaty? Ugh.
She needs to cool off after my heated
Just
discussion.
completely drenched, basically.
No, it's you literally woke up in a cold sweat.
Just yeah, perfect.
And you need to rehydrate after that.
What just happened?
Aldrin unintentionally ran the nightmare form of the drink spell on her.
No, I think Noelle probably just gets up, gets a glass of water, and
Never.
probably just heads back to bed a few minutes later.
Okay.
But
Yeah. The rest of the night would pass uneventfully, and you would all wake up in the morning having completed a long rest on the 50th
I think
of Cairn.
everybody would notice immediately that Noelle's face would just be like very distracted and kind of confused all morning.
Noelle, what the fuck is with your face this morning?
Oh, I thought you were rolling for insight, but you were just rolling for who's on top today. I actually had a dream last night. The gatekeeper contacted me. She wanted to do something with our deal. Where are we? Like right now, where?
The Presidium.
Okay, I know we're in the Presidium. I just mean like where in the Presidium are we? Because Burberry is the only one who knows about my deal.
Breakfast, I think, right?
We'll say this is me and Burberry on the way to breakfast. That'll make things easier.
Yeah.
Normally, what if I said, "How are you? Did you sleep okay?" or anything like that this morning? But you looked like someone just killed your cat and then brought it back to life.
Thankfully, it was nothing quite that visceral. But well, you remember that I made that deal with the gatekeeper, right?
Yes.
Well, she had an offer for me to make good on our deal.
Oh, exciting!
Yeah.
Right. This is exciting.
It's exciting, I guess. It's just it's very soon. I hadn't expected it this quickly. But, I mean, the deal itself sounded pretty doable. It actually wasn't just for me. She was offering it to the Lost Emeralds as a whole. But I told her that our original agreement was just between me and her, and I wanted to keep it that way. So I told her the only way I'd offer it to you guys is if I was able to get some compensation for you as a result. And I think I did. Secured that, so I guess we might have a quest lined up if Barnaby and John are on board.
Ooh, what kind of compensation? I mean, yes, we're going to help, even if she didn't give us any compensation.
Truthfully, I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. It'd be a lot to ask of you guys, especially right after we got back from the Dragon Tomb.
But lucky for us, she's talking about compensation. So did she say anything in particular, or just kind of like,
Well, it wasn't actually the gatekeeper herself who was offering compensation. She's doing a favor for, I guess, a friend of hers or something, who appeared to be like a guard of like a royal family, I guess, is his job. He was asking if we could watch a group of young royals that need to be brought through the Feywild forests, transferred to another kingdom back home or something like that. He wasn't terribly specific on all the details, but it didn't seem that difficult, and it all felt pretty manageable for us. Maybe a little on the easier side, actually, which might be a nice change of pace.
All right, so are we talking like down-to-earth royals or uptight, I'm so glad that there was a coup royal?
Probably closer to the second one. Although the actual royals we'd be watching would be children. I think you said they were like 8 years old.
Wait, children?
Yeah.
Okay, so are these going to be like the cool kind of children, or the children who accidentally set you on fire when they lose a chess game kind of children?
Once again, probably closer to the second one. He seemed like they were kind of menaces. At least it sounded like that. He didn't seem particularly excited about this whole thing. But like I said, it all seemed pretty manageable.
Well, I mean, a trip to the Feywilds could be fun. It's a nice change. At least the people that we meet won't be culty murdery. They'll just be eccentric murdery.
Yeah, definitely a little eccentricity there. I will admit that the guy who I was talking to seemed to really have a thing for me. I think he said his name was Aldrin something.
I mean, to be fair, he's not the only one who's into you, but, wait. Why do you say that like it's a bad thing?
He was just very enamored, I guess, it seemed like. He really wanted to draw pictures of me, and he made this one portrait that was very detailed and intimate.
Oh, so it was the uncomfortable kind of flirting and not the cute kind of flirting.
Yeah, a little closer to that. It was just a lot very quickly, you know. That's all.
You know what? I have to see this in person. It's probably hilarious.
Thankfully, I don't think he's a good enough artist in real life to actually pull off a drawing quite that detailed, which is good. It would probably be a pretty impressive piece if it was real, honestly.
Oh, wait. Was it actually scandalous, or was it Barnaby level?
Oh, it wasn't like us naked or anything. You could just see, you know, my breasts like pressing up against his arm as I leaned into him.
You know, if it was anybody else with you, but you, I'd say definitely hot. Since it was you, I'd say, I have to see this. This sounds hilarious.
I kind of wish I could stop seeing it. Every time I think back, it's very vivid in my mind.
Close your eyes and you can see it in the dark.
Not if I ask him to replicate it for me.
Like I said, I think his imagination is a bit more adept than his actual drawing skills.
The first map and drawing he showed you were not it.
Well, I would love to continue this line of thing. I've been told to shut up.
I think Noelle probably just glances down at the lower half of Burberry's coat and then chuckles to herself. But I do think this kind of sounds like a good deal, so I'll probably run around and check with everybody else first, but maybe tomorrow we can head out and do this thing.
It would be a nice change of pace. We're not gonna get stuck in there for long periods of times, are we? Because as much fun as fast forwarding through all of the terrible things that are bound to happen, I don't like the after season.
He didn't seem like he really knew how the time stuff worked, but I do trust that the gatekeeper knows what she's doing when it comes to that.
Okay, all right. And does he know where exactly we're going, or is he just kind of winging it? Because we can ask Barnaby if he can use the Fey light.
Oh, that's true. I actually hadn't thought about that. That'd be interesting. Now, he did have a map, but it wasn't exactly super detailed. He drew it himself. I got the sense that he's done this a lot, though, so I'm pretty sure he knows the route, even if he can't draw it super clearly. I do still think that this will be pretty easy for us, though, which will probably be a nice change of pace.
Well, that's good. Nice little vacation to the Feywilds.
Yeah, here's hoping.
All right. Well, I do have some stuff that I would like to do this morning, but
sure. Before you go, I was just gonna ask: do you know what Barnaby was thinking about yesterday? Seemed like he was wanting to talk to his cousin, and he seemed pretty intense. So I kind of wanted to just get some more info from him about that.
I didn't see him much yesterday. Though knowing him, he was probably fishing.
That's probably a safe bet. Oh, I'll go see if I can find him.
I hope he got something. Maybe he caught lunch. Maybe he made gumbo.
Did Barnaby find gumbo?
I made it with my new chef talents.
Barnaby is now officially an actual chef, apparently.
You even have a crock pot.
Exactly.
Well, I do think Noelle would spend some amount of her morning just trying to track you down to just talk for a little bit. Assuming Barnaby's in the Presidium. I imagine he'd be in the kitchen or something.
I'm gonna hand you a block when you get to me.
A block? Like a big...
No, fits in your hand.
Oh, like a small thing.
I found out how to compress gumbo.
Did you make a bouillon cube?
It kind of sounds like it.
Something like that. Think of like a protein bar.
Ooh, a gumbo protein bar.
But it's heavier than it looks.
Wow, this is very dense, Barnaby.
Well, yeah, how else are you going to get all the gumbo in there?
It's just the gumbo version of a gobstopper.
But yeah, that is, I can cook a number of treats equal to my proficiency bonus, so I got 4 of these I can make each day. That's good for 8 hours. You can use your bonus action to eat it and get temporary hit points equal to my proficiency, so an extra 4.
I think Noelle would like smell it, and she'd just say, "Would it be a waste if I ate it now?"
I mean, I can make them every day.
Ooh, that's very good. I assume. What does it taste like?
Gumbo.
Oh, should have guessed.
But what kind of gumbo? Is it spicy gumbo?
It's got that little bit of kick right at the end to let you know it's there.
Very nice. I actually did want to ask you about something, Barnaby, if that's okay.
What you want to talk about?
Well, yesterday when you and I were walking around town, you kept mentioning wanting to keep an eye out for Bubba's ship. And I know that you and he have some bad blood now, that he kind of lied to you. So, I don't know, I guess I wanted to know what you were planning to do.
Well, I do need to make a quick visit with him.
What are you hoping to get out of this visit exactly? Is it something you're willing to share or talk about? I'd be curious to know.
You ever have siblings growing up?
Oh, I guess technically I was kind of an only child, but I did spend the first 8 years of my life in an orphanage, which is sort of like having a lot of brothers and sisters. John can probably attest to that. But I suppose as far as a specific familial relationship, not exactly. I certainly have my own fair share of family problems, though.
Not sure if you'd fully understand them.
Well, try me.
Well, as you know my past,
I do certainly recall what you've told us.
the thing is, he was the only other one that I ever saw that made it out of this. Seemed like he was doing honest work. Seemed like he made a man for himself. Started to respect him a little bit. And then you come to find out they just straight up lied to your face. And he hasn't been an honest man. The entire point of his life.
For what it's worth, I'm sorry. I know how important honesty and being respectful is for you.
The only other blood that ever really made sense to you suddenly don't again.
I can certainly understand feeling like a family member has betrayed you.
Something you gotta try and talk them out of it. See if you can do something. Blood to blood.
Well, I really hope that you're able to get through in some way, Barnaby, but I don't know. In my experience with people who are so deep into the criminal side of things, it's tough to talk someone out when they're that far gone, you know? There's a certain point where morality just kind of becomes this haze, and you stop respecting it. I hope for your sake and his that your brother's not at that point. It'd be a nice change of pace.
Well, that's appreciated. But unless he sees it that way, then we're gonna have a difference of opinion.
I do think Noelle has a bit of a flashback in that moment too. When she went up to go talk to Amelia that first night she found out she was here. Just that feeling of knowing this is probably gonna go bad, but hoping it doesn't. I really do hope you're able to get something productive out of this, Barnaby. I've never been super fortunate in that regard, but maybe you will be.
Well, if I can talk him out of it, maybe we won't have to worry about it at all.
That would be nice.
That's what I'm going to try and find out.
Well, once again, good luck. And, great work on these gumbo bars. They're very good. Consider me a fan.
Good. There'll be plenty more where that came from. Actually, you know what? Take these others three and give them to the rest of the people.
Oh, okay. I was needing to go talk to John anyway, so...
I already have mine for the day.
Mimic me fall. I can hold 4 protein bars.
He said they were heavy.
I mean, they might be poutine bars.
Oh, before I leave, I just wanted to say, Barnaby, great work on the gumbo recently. I don't know what you've changed, but it's been extra delicious, so nicely done.
You might say it's an extra seasoning called salt.
It's just salt.
You've been serving unsalted gumbo this entire time.
And it was still good.
You degenerate.
Realize how expensive salt is without a salt mine?
Nah, it's the salt.
Barnaby's been scrimping on spices. He hasn't bought salt because that would be too expensive.
Exactly.
But now he has dragon money, so he can afford a little salt.
Nah, it's what it is you didn't have any cayenne or paprika before.
Oh.
It took 107 sessions, but this is the biggest plot twist in the entire campaign.
That's fucking gold.
And it was still delicious without the salt. I'm just saying.
I mean, none of us have ever complained about it.
I know.
Exactly.
That's fucking funny. Excuse me. Well, with that exchange, Barnaby, I assume you're heading off towards the docks.
Bubba's boat. Yep.
Yeah. I think this will probably be the place that we leave off for tonight then.
That's fair.
And we can pick up tomorrow as Barnaby heads to speak with his cousin. And see what becomes of that.
Can I ask a quick... Sorry. I was gonna do scrying and sending with Father Severed again. Do I have the same result as last time? Where it just doesn't... I get them back.
Scrying, you would not be able to see anything. You would get the magical equivalent of static in your scrying implement. Sending, I think you would receive a new response. This loud, brash voice answering.
Yeah.
I thought I told you to stop calling me! And then it hangs up. Click.
Okay.
Okay, first off. Sorry, wrong number. Second off, I think my spell broke. Guys, I think my spell broke. Is there a new Father Severin? Well, that's gonna be a question for later. Well, the funny thing was because I thought I told you to stop calling me when nobody told me to stop calling anybody. What? Well, I'm gonna have questions later. Cool, thanks. Cool, we got that squared away.
So on that note, can we get an MVP vote for tonight's session?
I'm going with Noel.
Yep.
Burberry for the movie.
I'll go Burberry.
Movie? Oh, yes.
The legend lore?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
And free movie.
That was cool.
Cool. Alright, so Burberry gets the MVP, 2 points to you, 1 to everybody else. And then we'll call it a session for tonight, guys.
I get my inspo back.
Good to be back in it.
Yes.
Yes.